Hey guys, what a beast here, back at it again, and it is Wednesday, my dudes. So you know what that means, it's a new update in old school RuneScape, and it's another Slayer combat sweep up update. So the first thing you'll notice when logging in here is there'll be a little graphic, but also in the chat, you get refunded any Slayer points that you would have sort of overspent on. So due to my block tasks, I've got 700, and due to cost rebalancing another 730. So just so happens we do have a Slayer ring in the inventory, and we're here with the little capybara and the little pygmy hippo calf. So if we teleport to the stronghold here, I'm thinking we can have a little chat with Steve. Rest in peace, Neve. So yeah, now we've got quite a humble 2,200 reward points now, and some of the big changes made are now Metal Dragon tasks are now rolled into one. You will now not get a sort of individual task of, say, or rather all dragon tasks, because yeah, it's now like sort of rune dragons you can kill for the same task that you do for adamant dragons and stuff like this. But task storage is now 500 points as well, so that's down from 1,000, so it's worth actually getting that. And I will do more Slayer, that's always been there, that looks new. But yeah, so if you go on to the extend tasks, a lot of tasks could have changed in the valuation, how much it costs to get them. So that's very, very nice. I might unlock more at stake actually, because the vampire tasks are quite nice. I need Blood Fury Ammies. Unrestraining Order. Never noticed that name before, that's pretty funny. But yeah, no, so now the block lists are completely different now. So you can have different ones for each one. You can just block them straight up without getting the task, which is nice. You don't have to wait to get it before using the block slot. And it shows the task weighting, how likely you are to get them. So say, for example, you didn't want Metal Dragons at all, you could click block, and then comes up with the option. Each Slayer Master has a different list, so if I'm underprepared for this, I should have had my gloves in my inventory. But if we go over to Duradel, for example, or Kuradel, I guess, rest in peace, Duradel, then you'll have a completely different block list as to what you would with Steve or Neve. So go on here. I'm trying to remember what's good to block, because I mean I still actually need the imbued heart, so there's certain things that I wouldn't block even if they kind of suck a bit. Metal Dragons I like. None of these strike me as too bad, and it's the sort of thing to where you don't want to block things like water fiends. But if we do block worms, for example, because I never want to see worms, bro. I don't know. I don't want to do worms. So say for example, if we block worms, and they're blocked. If I go to then teleport to the stronghold, and I have a chat to Steve, yeah, no block task. So you can sort of customize your block list for whoever you want. I don't know if you get the points back if so if you cancel it, if you block it when I get neither option. It doesn't say. If I go back to Kuradal, Clap of the Hands, I'm presuming you don't get the points refunded. So you'll not get your points back. Okay, yeah. So that works the same. Reasonable. But yeah, so now over time I'm going to build my Slayer points back up. I want to have a really nice customised one for each Slayer Master. The only sort of downside I'd say of this is that in total you'll be paying like a lot more points if you're using a variety of Slayer Masters. But obviously it does come with the plus side that if you are just sticking with one, you can really tailor it, have it to your liking. So that's pretty cool. A few more extra updates that they've done. So I think the ones that we've not went over is the cost for things like the Slayer ring unlocks down from 300 points to 150. Bigger and Bad is down from 150 to 50, so if you're starting a new Iron Man, you can be unlocking that as early as possible, getting the chance of getting the imbued heart from the creatures that you might not see the superior versions of, because by the time you got the points for it in the old days, you're already way past using those Slayer Masters. So they've changed the drop rate for the Lunar Key, so that's the one that gives you the iconic moon mask thing, Helmet of the Moon they call it, which is one of the rarest items in the game at the moment, because I think it's like 1 in 1,000 from a chest where you need 2 different key halves, and they're both really rare, both from skilling and from creatures / bosses. So they have updated the rate to be 1 in 1,250 from Brutal Blue Dragons, so we might actually see players down there killing Brutal Blue Dragons. They do have elemental weakness, so potentially get your Dragon Hunter's wand thing from Huiquiotl. But now from the Huiquiotl boss, it's 1 in 75, which is actually still fairly rare because it does take a while to kill. But the good thing is, actually, if you do it in Mass Worlds, the kills are around about 1 every 1 minute you can kill the boss in. So assuming that it drops for everyone, I don't know if it's just a one-off sort of deal, but if it does, that might be probably the quickest way in the game to get it. Either that or the Miscellaneous, because that's a really quick boss to kill and you can teleport quite sort of close to it. So that's pretty cool. In other miscellaneous sort of changes that they've done, the task storage one we've already covered, but the Granite Hammer from the Grotesque Guardians boss, that's now got a 30% Golem Bane effect, which is a new effect they've brought into the game, so 30% extra damage and accuracy against all Golem-type creatures, of which the Gargoyles are, and some other creatures. So I'm thinking that plus the 15, or is it 20% from the Slayer helmet? On your Slayer task, realistically, unless you've got a Scythe or using something like that, it is your best in slot, so if you're an Iron Man, well worth doing Grotesque Guardians. The pet's really cool anyway, but you then can use that for any Gargoyle tasks you get, so I'm hoping I can get a Gargoyle task soon just to showcase how good it is, because just looking at the maths there, it seems like that's going to be very effective. Now, Mark of Darkness lasts 3 minutes by default, so that's I think that's an increase on what it was. And low-level Slayer Master points have been buffed, so if you're early game, Magina now gives 6 points per task up from 2, and Vanica 8 points up from 4. So it puts them a bit more relevance, and I don't know, depending on your level, you might consider staying there longer than you otherwise would, because there's such a disparity before the difference between the Neve tasks and those. So potentially, if you're low level and looking to grind up some Slayer points, you might consider doing those now. So also there's a Date with Doom combat achievements coming soon. They've got a cool little graphic for this, so if I play that. Charging up. Firing the laser. But rest in peace, Zuck helmets. No Wallabies viewer has a Zuck helmet. This is true, but there will be combat achievements coming out for that, so keep your eyes peeled. Now, merch-wise, if you go onto the website, there is an album released for Valamor. Obviously, any recent Jagex release, very, very good audio quality, very cool songs, so if that floats your boat, go along to the website, and that'll be on the blog post today. There have been a few changes to Permanent Deadman, but I'm not going to read these all out, because who plays Permanent Deadman mode, honestly? Now, other changes, there's been a slight tweak to Royal Titans, so stuff like thralls and stuff like this now doesn't negatively contribute towards your loot quantity, so I don't know how big that is, but for some people that do Royal Titans, maybe cool. I've been doing some Royal Titans lately, but I've not really had any problems with getting the loot there, but I'm doing that with nearly best in slot items, so yeah, you wouldn't expect it to be a problem. Agility requirement for the new Castle Drakan shortcut has been increased because people were saying it's too low. Fair enough. You can now add potions to existing stacks in potion storage even if your bank is full, so bonus, I guess, to people with the potion storage from the alchemical minigame. Baby blue dragons in the ruins of Tapoyak now drop the baby dragon bone required for the Rag and Bone Man 2 quest, so big for anyone that's locked to that region, I guess. Arcane Blade special attack animations been like tweaked, now the same, consistent. Recent bosses such as Amoxdiatul, Raxor, Whisperer, Lev, Vardavis previously weren't showing up in the boss kill count tab, so they've added that. Dragon and Zamorak Spear special attacks in Castle Wars now use their original shove mechanics, so big for Castle Wars players. Bandage is no longer overheal in games of Castle Wars, which I didn't know was a thing. They've updated bank action code, so now the custom menu entry that is enabled now shows an additional menu rather than swapping out existing one. Apparently there was a bug where Ent Trunks could continue attacking after their Wilderness Ent was killed with a Twin Flame Staff, so that's a very niche interaction right there. They fixed a bug where Challenge Mode Chambers raid layouts can be re-rolled by switching leaders or relogging. Huiquartal private instances now properly adjust for player counts when participants leave, preventing full instances that would require everyone to leave and start a new instance to continue. So big for any Huey players. Fix the Slayer Master tips on fighting Kriara, tweak the Examine on the Fossil Island zipline, tidied up some misaligned curtains in player and house to better fit the new Canifist and Civitas wall kits, and finally the fill and check options on a filled bottomless compost bucket have now been separated like they are on the empty version, so it's just a bit more easy to use there. PvP rota's changed obviously because it's a new update, so for any PvP player you don't have to deal with being on the US servers now if you're a Brit and vice versa, so pretty cool. But that's pretty much it for the update this week. Obviously the main changes being the changes to Slayer that they've put in, which are very nice. I'm going to be doing some more Slayer, making the use of these task block lists, and I'm thinking I might get into some Wilderness Slayer, because it would be cool to get some Revenant task, potentially get a crossbow, because I've not really done much Revenants at all since they've been in the game. But as always, I've been Beast, you've been awesome. If you've enjoyed the video today, pop a like and subscribe on, it helps the channel with its growth, and I will see you this time next week to cover any new updates, and might have a video before then as well, so keep your eyes peeled. But have a lovely rest of your day. Beast, out.